What's up, y'all? Fabian Speaks, man. We're back with a video for the channel. And today's channel is pretty much based off of going off of or listening to your spirit, man. Going off of, what God has placed in you from a wisdom, from a discernment perspective. A lot of times we tend to tune within, try to listen to what maybe something's telling us from an emotional standpoint, from a logical standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint as well, and we tend to not listen to ourselves or listen to our best judgment, when I believe we should have confidence in the wisdom and the discernment the Father in heaven has given us, right? There's a lot of times to where I was making choices, making decisions in my life, and God has given us a brain to use. So of course, from a logical perspective, you weigh out pros and cons, right? Is this the best choice for you? Is this the best option for you? Do I have things planned out for this? Will I be able to, if it's a move you're making, do I have enough funds saved up? Will I be able to take care of myself? X, Y, Z. That's a logical perspective. But in that same breath, from a spiritual perspective, sometimes you don't need all the ducks in a row, right? Because God could be calling you to do something or calling you to move to a place without having it all figured out. And that's why faith exists. Sometimes God will want you to move to a certain area to bless you. Sometimes, the word says that God is our provisioner, right? So a lot of times folks worry too much about finances. But a lot of people realize God will provide, especially if God is placing you somewhere, calling you in an area. Why would he not provide for you, right? There's always a saying that I like to use. The will of God will not lead you where the grace of God cannot keep you. So you have to have faith and trust in his plan. And if he's guiding you in a direction, take him up on, where he's leading you, trust in him. But through the wisdom and the discernment and the logical approach he's given us as human beings, still take these things into account, still think sharply, make smart choices. But at times, you got to really just let go. But I say all that to say that you do have a certain compass, spiritually. I think that we get like discernment on our spirit. If there's a choice or a decision to be made, like if you're going to go for a specific job, if you're entertaining 2 jobs at one time, and if you consider God, right, he'll give you a direction. He'll point you in a direction you should be going according to a grand purpose. Whereas some people try to deny those feelings, those thoughts that they get, and do what's best for themselves, or what makes them feel more comfortable, or what's the easy way out or the easy route. You know what I mean? So everybody's different. I think at a point in time, it just depends on what journey you're on. There's some people who deliberately want to follow where God is taking them. There's some people who just believe in God, but they're not really trying to follow the path he's laid out for them. They just want to be comfortable, do their own thing, kind of create their own life and lifestyle, while putting him on the back burner. But I think, like, to find the greatest happiness, to find your true fulfillment, God is the way in acquiring that, coming to that point, because God's able to give you exceedingly abundantly more than you can ever imagine. He knows you in and out. He created you, so he knows how you tick, what you like. So I think from various standpoints, whether it's relationship, opportunity, the network, your friend circle, all of that can be laid out according to God's true understanding of who you are. So, but not everybody's trying to listen to God's voice. So that's just an example to use. But I believe that we have just an understanding. So don't second guess yourself or doubt yourself a lot of times. There's times to where I think some folks are blessed more than others in terms of like having discernment, being able to read between the lines, pull the veil back and see what's actually there, what's actually going on. Not too many people have the gift, and then even if they do have the gift, not too many people know whether or not that's from God, or they second guess too much. Oh, did I hear you, God? Or is this the right decision I should make? I don't know. And they just wrestle with confusion. But I believe in instinct. I believe in gut feelings. I believe in having a hunch. I think all these things are part of that spirit, man. Everybody just got these different names and what they want to call it. But when you just have a feeling and you don't know where that feeling come from or why, that's supernatural. I believe that's supernatural. So trust in that gut feeling. I've learned to trust my instinct and intuition a whole lot more the older I've gotten. When I was a kid, younger, I was just questioning everything, wondering whether or not I'm making the right choice. But in a grand scheme of things, the beauty of serving the God we serve is that he's the orchestrator, he's the coordinator. So I believe in him realigning, paths, directions, what people would deem as mistakes. Man, God don't make mistakes. So in understanding that, I don't believe we can make mistakes, but I don't believe it's the end all be all. It's not detrimental to our growth, to the continuation of our journey, because God can realign everything, and what we see as our bad is going to be used for our good. So that's the thing. Quit doubting yourself, even in the moments to where you're unsure. Pray about it, give it to God. And then if you feel or think you still don't have an answer, just make a choice. Make a decision that's whether you're going based off of majority, more logic, what makes the most sense, or if you're choosing to lean more towards the spirit and say, hey, spiritually, God, I know this is what you want for me. Maybe this is something that'll help me grow, mature in faith. Then go for that, But don't ever make choices from a place of fear. That's one thing you don't want to do. Don't make decisions out of being scared or being fearful, feeling like thinking that you won't be able to accomplish something and you're just cowering back and you're crawling into a little ball. I highly recommend not doing that, because then that's how you know that the thoughts that you're thinking are from the enemy. They're not from God. The enemy wants to keep you in that handicapped state, that fear-based state, to where you don't progress. You don't understand and see who you truly are as a conqueror and as God's child. So just the hunches you get, the instincts, the intuition, learn how to tap into that. And I would say give those things to God to help you grow in those areas too. I remember since a kid, man, like I always say kid, but I was like 16, 17, 18 years old. I always prayed for two things specifically all the time: wisdom and patience. And I don't know at that young of an age to where I got that honed in on why I asked for those things. I think because at that possibly at that age, I knew God. I fully understood that God has things in his own time. And I was an impatient kid growing up. So I think when it comes to patience, I automatically knew to pray for that, because things may not turn out or unfold or go the way I want them to go in life. That's just the nature of life. So I would pray for patience so God would equip me just to the long game. There's so many things I want to do, so many dreams and aspirations, and I wait on God's timing. You got to be patient for that. You can't just assume control, and God has it's all choreographed out. So I knew to ask for patience, because I knew, not to say God couldn't do any and all things, but I knew it could possibly be a longer road than I wanted. And when it comes to wisdom, I don't know. I think just seeing King Solomon, you know what I mean? Maybe it was just Solomon asking for wisdom. But I don't know. Like, from an early age, I wanted wisdom. And it's crazy how God uses what you ask for to really test you or put you in situations to develop what you're asking for. So even circling back to patience, I've been in a lot of situations that tried my patience. But I have patience. It's just over time, he's built that up in me. And when it comes to wisdom, man, sometimes I just surprise myself with, I'm not trying to be on a high horse, but or be cocky, but I'm surprised myself with the things that I know and understand, and the depths that I understand them at, and how God has blessed me with wisdom. You know, he's blessed me with wisdom, and how people will come to me for advice and stuff. I never really saw that as being a thing. But people ask me questions because they want to know my perspective. And that's just a testament to the fact that God gave me a gift, or he blessed me with what I asked for, to where I'm wise enough to where people want to actually know my 2 cents. So it's crazy to think about, man. It's wild to think about. I really pray for y'all out there and y'all's decision making, because sometimes it can be tough, and sometimes we think we make the wrong choices and we think we're starting at square one. But don't believe that you've made wrong choices. Don't believe in that. Believe that everything and all things are working for your greater good, according to God's, purpose, plan, and his will, and that his love is extreme, and he's not gonna let you just get away. You know what I mean? In terms of like, I always like to use the 99 and the 1 reference. But he's gonna come after you. You know what I mean? He's gonna be there for you. He's gonna protect you. He's gonna secure you. So peace, love, prosperity. Hope these words encourage y'all today, man. We'll see you on the next video. Stay blessed.